Peace. Quick little think fast. I had came across a Abraham Hicks video that made a nice point, you know what I'm saying, about how our impulses are mostly source energy, you know what I'm saying, than our ego almost, 100% of the times, you know what I'm saying. And even when that voice may seem like it's a little off or, like like a little funny to us, if it's an impulse and it's a strong one, like I said, 9 times out of 10 it's for us to act upon it. Because even if it may seem strange in the moment, it seemed like, I don't know about this right now, but I feel like I should do it. The feeling strong, and it's kind of source. Because some things like too, where you gotta realize we're on a growth and we're on a path where you may have made a super wrong turn somewhere. So the right turn may seem like it's going towards something messed up, but it's like now that you done drifted so far, you kind of got to make this turn through this messed up stuff to get to where you're going, you know what I'm saying? Because you done went so far off. Matter of fact, in this messed up road, even though it seems messed up at first, it's one of the quickest routes back to where you're going, but you can't see it with your physical eyes just yet. All you see is, man, it's a messed up situation. This impulse got me going somewhere that feels a little uncomfortable. But in hindsight, it'll be something that's well worth it afterwards. And another thing too about you'll be able to tell whether it's from source, you know what I'm saying, too, an impulse. If matter of fact, an impulse is too are happening when we're in receptive mode. So whenever we're being receptive to all the things that we want to manifest in our list, the impulses kick in to help us, impulse, do this action. I don't know why, but some tell me to do this. I don't know why, but some, as impulses to make you act upon the moment, you know what I'm saying, to act up in the now, you know what I'm saying. So impulses mostly would come out of, out of spirit, out of soul, you know what I'm saying. And two ways to tell is how it feels in the moment, you know what I'm saying? Does that impulse feel strong? Does it feel good? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does it really make you feel? You know what I'm saying? And then two, what you really tell you was what's going on with that feeling. Remember that feeling and then think about how it plays out. So remember that when you caught that impulse to go buy this, you caught that impulse to go do that. And then when you had that impulse and you followed through with it, what was the results after that? You know what I'm saying? Did things kind of, did it seem like it was bad and it turned good, or was it good all the way through, or what was the outcome? And you'll be able to kind of realize where your impulses, which like I say where they're coming from, like like they can't come from the ego. I mean, in essence, they can, but even in that instance, that impulse is like, matter of fact, that's how I be able to tell that, certain little thoughts and stuff is not coming from me because they just quantum speed. They just telepathy, like bam, just hitting you perfectly, out of the blue, where you ain't even you wouldn't even nowhere close to that subject, and it just, bam, you know what I'm saying. So that's another way too, you know what I'm saying. But you could look at how the impulse make you feel. That's one way, and then the second way is seeing how it play out. As a matter of fact, and then seeing how it makes you feel and watching it play out. That's where journals come in, where you could take log of like, all right, when I caught this impulse, I was feeling like this. This is how it turned out. So it seems like that impulse was more from source than ego. You know what I'm saying? You could be able to map it out and get a better understanding. And once you get more of understanding of how your impulses work and your intuition work, then you start to move more fluently, and your voice of your intuition becomes louder because you know where it's coming from and you know how to work with it now. You know what I'm saying? So like, yes, they may have strong impulses too. Like, well, how does this impulse make you feel? And it could be strong, like, man, I got a strong urge to do this. But then on the flip side, matter of fact, and two, some of that uneasiness too could actually come from your ego. That's another way. That's another reason why I kind of believe that it's true to that, where most of our impulses come from source. Because if an impulse hit and you're uneasy about it, it's probably because of some egotistical situation. It's probably like, oh, I don't have enough of money right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's egotistic. That's human, not knowing that you are the universe and that you could manifest things. So, you catch that strong impulse to probably buy something that you might feel you don't have the money for. You might still need to buy it, because if that impulse hitting strong like that, then it may be something beneficial for you, especially for your spirit, not your ego. Your ego gonna always be scared of certain things, or scared of certain little changes, you know what I'm saying? So it would make sense that strong impulses would be more from source, you know what I'm saying, than our actual ego, you know. And that's a good thing to know, you know. Matter of fact, when I came across the video, I was like, man, I was like, that seems true, you know, now that they say that, because like I say, well, you know, you could be done steered so far off the pad where, you know, when you catch that impulse, it seems like it's bringing you through a bad place, and it may like, I don't know, you know, like you telling me to spend all my money, put all my money on red at the roulette table. Yeah. Back to my old gambling days, but you know what I'm saying. But you know, a strong impulse that'll take you into possibly a quote unquote uncomfortable place, but it's just probably more so uncomfortable to your ego, and because your ego is just looking at right now, like, you know, it ain't looking in hindsight with the hawk's eye, with the eye of Horus. You know what I'm saying? The eye of Horus represents that hawk eye. That matter of fact, a hawk flying high could see further ahead, right under it, and way over here, way over there. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's in one spot. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Where, you know, that's what a pioneer is, and that's the representation of the pineal gland too. You know, being able to simultaneously tap into the past and future. You know what I'm saying? And intuitively doing it. You know what I'm saying? But as a human and dealing with ego and dealing with that, just the five senses, what I see right now, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, you may have steered so far off the path where the only correct way or impulse to follow would be one that seemed like it's taking you in a bad place, but it's not really bad enough in the full outcome of it. Like after that situation, and you know, it'll open up to a next situation that'd be easier, and then the next situation will be easy, you know what I'm saying? Because you done pull yourself so far off pad that you kind of have to go through something that may seem like, I don't know, that is that my soul source want me to do that? You know what I'm saying? But yes, because in most cases you start to learn too that most of the time it's your ego that just don't want to change and grow, that be nervous about certain things. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, most impulses do come from the astral planes and from, you know what I'm saying, from source, from that, you know, because what other thing, you know what I'm saying? Because think about it, you know, emotions move faster than thoughts, you know what I'm saying? So think about that. If emotions move faster than thoughts, but you have a thought or impulse that hits just as fast as the emotion, then that what you think is a thought may not even be a thought, but like a channeled idea, you know what I'm saying, straight from source, straight from your spirit guides, you know what I'm saying? So that's a thing to think about, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, emotions travel faster than thought, but when you catch a certain thought that comes just as fast as emotion, then that should let you know right there that it's not a thought and that it doesn't come from you. In fact, like I be saying, like where I could just tell how fast something just quantumly hops in my brain, like just as fast as the emotion hops into my brain. You know, and it's like, man, that can't be for me because I ain't even have time to even conjure up that thought. Like I wasn't even playing nowhere around that idea, and that just snapped into my head. You know what I'm saying? So impulses are mostly source energy, you know what I'm saying? So it's a wise thing to, you know, go along with impulses, you know. And like I said, and in some cases, and that don't mean that, all right, you know, go with the flow or go with what makes you comfortable. So if an impulse hit and you feel like say for instance, if an impulse hit and you're like, nah, I just still don't think it's from source. You know, I think it's from my ego and I'm not gonna do it, then take log of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, when you caught this impulse, I didn't do it. And how was it beneficial or detrimental? You know what I'm saying? I bet you probably missed out on something or whatever the case may be, or it took you longer to get to where you was going because you didn't follow that impulse. You know what I'm saying? But you know, go with it as you please. But I'm just, as far as my own intuition, my own feeling with it now, and then getting that from Abraham was kind of like a confirmation, you know. But it do seems like most of all our impulses come from source and come from our higher self, you know. It'll just mostly probably be that ego, that spook about the change, or maybe even spook because it looks a little uneasy, you know, to the eyes in the moment, not knowing and not realizing that there's more to it in hindsight, that is a bigger picture to, you know, what may look uneasy and uncomfortable in that moment, you know, because most of that uneasiness and uncomfortable feeling will mostly come from the ego being scared of change and growth. So But this is a Think Fast. So peace on that note. And just remember the two ways to figure out, to help you figure out more of its source. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not absolute, like all impulses come from source. You know, you may condition yourself so much in your ego that an impulse may come from your, you know what I'm saying, from your ego. Like I say too, though, an impulse, man, and on my own experience, like say for instance, like an impulse that comes from the ego is almost conjured up. It's almost like it takes talking into that impulse and doesn't really come off as an impulse, you know what I'm saying? Compared to where you're doing something and it's like, do this, go that way, you know what I'm saying, out of the blue, you know what I'm saying? Like so even if impulses came, from the ego, they probably would come a little slow, you know what I'm saying, or be conjured up. But that's for me, my own experience, you know what I'm saying, where I could tell, it seems a little artificial because it didn't come fast, you know what I'm saying. It just seemed like, in fact, like I kind of played with the idea and then turned it into an impulse. But you want to see how it feels in the moment. So when that impulse hit, like how good does it feel? How good or how does it make you feel in general? Does it make you feel good, bad? Like this is really gonna help or like this is really not gonna help. How does that impulse make you feel? And then after either going with it or not going with it, see how it plays out. So see how either following that impulse or not following that impulse plays out. And you'll start to get ideas of, whether that's source or your ego. And like I said, and that's where journals come into play, where, take a log of, all right, when I had this impulse, I did this, and this was the results. When I had this impulse, I did that. This was the results. You know what I'm saying? Like keep a log of that, and that helps helps strengthen your own intuition, your own spiritual powers. You know what I'm saying? It's like lifting weights. You know what I'm saying? Got to lift them spiritual weights in order for in order for your spirit to get stronger, in order for your soul to gain that power. But peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate, of course. Happy piece of Kai night. Kai night. Not gonna go too far in the future. I'm not gonna go too far in the past. Right now. Now is the vibrate. If you don't have a pistol, carry a crystal, man. Crystal gun. Negative energy. Pow, pow. Negative energy. Peace, man. Happy now, man. Blessings. And again, don't forget about the donations for the PayPal. Anything and everything is greatly appreciated, man. Just you viewing is enough, man. There's a lot, bro. Like that. I'm grateful for y'all taking the time to just look, cause your time is energy. That's just like money in essence. So you know what I'm saying. It's blessings and it's all appreciated. Everything is all. I'm great. I'm grateful for everything. You know what I'm saying, for all the energy, all the love and support y'all give me. Cause in fact, it may seem like I'm being overly humble or whatever, but I'm not. Like, bro, when you come from not having these things and you understand like humility and understand being humble and grateful for things and how it comes back to you, man, you just continue to stay humble and grateful, man, and realize, man, that like people don't have to watch my video, you know what I'm saying? People don't have to interact and show that love, you know what I'm saying? So that is greatly appreciated and it's not overlooked, you know what I'm saying? So definitely. Peace. Happy now and blessings. Now's the vibrate.